Apple, take 3. Speed.
Oh, God!
We thought the seventh guest was huge, and it was. And we went off to make the 11th hour, which we thought would not be, and it turned out to be maybe twice as big.
There's close to 2.5 hours of total video in the product. Of that, about 66 minutes is the film type video, another 15 minutes is in-the-house film type video, and the rest is all computer graphics.
Good boy. Now speak.
We really thought 11th Hour was going to be just a sequel to The Seventh Guest, and technically that's how we approached it. But as we started to do the 11th Hour, we realized that we couldn't do that. It had to be a lot more complicated. So we had to reinvent a lot of our own technology again.
You know, it gave us an opportunity to take what was a gothic horror story and update it, contemporize it, and add some more, fully fleshed out three-dimensional characters this time.
Maria, I hear you've been seeing Chuck Lynch.
So?
He's a married man.
So? Who cares?
So I care. You'll get a reputation, Marie. I don't want people calling my daughter a tramp.
Yeah? Well, like I said, like mother, like daughter.
Marie!
Say it.
Marie!
What?
You'll be home tonight.
Maybe.
There's new technologies and there's new frontiers to try and challenge the problem of creating an interactive drama, and that's a nut that we want to crack.
But as it turns out, we were not content to rest on our laurels, and we felt that not only did we have to keep ahead of the competition, we had to best ourselves.
So what's this story about?
You play the part of the famous television reporter Carl Denning, and you're investigating the disappearance of your producer in the creepy old staff mansion.
Don't do it.
It is late 1992. The seventh guest is near completion. During a series of team discussions, the idea of a sequel is raised, but quickly dismissed.
We did not mean to do a sequel. We didn't even want to do a sequel.
Not likely that we're going to do a sequel.
The popularity of Seventh Guest just made it unnatural for us to do a sequel.
Market forces, dictated that we should take a second look at that opinion and possibly go ahead and proceed and try to come up with a sequel idea.
But there was something inside the box which is called the Stauff Files, which gave background to what happened after the events in Seventh Guest, 70 years into the future. And from that would grow 11th Hour.
We felt that we didn't just want to do a straight sequel, staff in a house again running around with 6 guests. We wanted something original that would, actually work as a storyline, as well as something that would work as a game.
I'm researching a story on the staff mansion.
Oh?
I'm trying to follow a storyline involving Eileen Wiley. The legend, myth, or story. It seems that she's the only one who has survived an encounter with the mansion. Everyone else has either died or disappeared.
There are a lot of stories about that old house.
Work proceeds on the development of the story, and Trilobyte decides to take the project well beyond the seventh guest. There will be more complex computer graphics, more numerous and challenging puzzles, and the movie will introduce additional characters dominated by the insidious Henry Starr.
What is it that you want? What can this house, my house, give you?
This is a film where you get to decide what happens. That at the end, it's going to force you to go inside yourself and really make you question your own values in terms of trust, and love, and what's important to you to end that movie.
Success, power, influence.
How can a house give anything to anyone?
Never doubt the power of this house.
In the early months of 1993, the movie script is complete, and artists begin developing the look of the 11th hour.
Rob Graham and I discussed how to dirty up the new house based on Matthew Costello's new storyline. After discussing it for a short time, it was relatively easy to conceive how we would take existing material and just by overlaying dirt on everything, we could give that effect.
Man, it stinks in here. Like that dead raccoon your father found in the basement. Say what?
I needed to take existing materials, such as the wallpaper, and add various layers of dirt, mold, slime, dust, and whatever was necessary to create that sense of realism that you might find in an old haunted house.
Lead artist Robert Stein is recognized as a graphic artist and illustrator. His work with 3D computer graphics in The Seventh Guest brought him national acclaim. But in the end, the aim is to mask all of this technical wizardry.
What we always try and do in our products is hide the technology from the user, so that the player, the viewer, is actually unaware that all of this magic is going on in the background. All that he or she has to perceive is the story and the horror of the product.
The Forbidding House is created with 3D graphics, but now a cast of live actors must be brought inside the computer. Their actions blended realistically and believably with the furniture and other computer-created objects.
So I would place a generic synthetic actor in the general place of the room where we needed them to be. I would then give this rendered background to our video director, who would shoot the live actor in a blue screen overlaid over on this background.
It's about time. Tell me what you want. The world is waiting. Robin.
Carl! Carl, where are you?
Never mind him. He's an illusion. Tell me what you want.
The 11th Hour contains a 64-minute movie shot in Southern Oregon.
All right, let's go.
From the beginning, I felt that there was some necessity to really link the dramatic story with the gameplay.
We're bringing live actors into the situation, and we were one of the first of the games to do that in a high-quality way. And we freed up the camera too. No longer is it just like mounted on a tripod in the middle of the room. We're doing a lot of cinematic motion with cuts and close-ups.
Deadlines make it necessary to shoot the entire movie in just 10 days, and unpredictable May skies create more headaches. But the use of live actors is adding to the pioneering nature of the interactive drama. To shoot the interior scenes that will take place in the 3D virtual mansion, the crew moves to a converted warehouse using a technique to blend real actors with computer graphics.
Are you ready?
Ready? For what?
We did a lot of blue screen work for this film, which is very complicated and calls for a lot of sophisticated lighting techniques. as well as a great awareness by the actors of what they're doing, because they're working basically with nothing there, with things that will be placed in the screen later on. So they have to be working against a blank background.
Where's Eileen? I don't know.
It's very critical that the blue screen be evenly lit so that it doesn't create shadows or dark spots.
The problem was trying to keep the architectural geography in my head, because as I changed from one camera angle to another camera, what we would do is we would reverse the positions of the actors. Then you're just trying to figure out exactly where that camera should be for that point of view.
I have to get out of here. I'm scared.
Well, wait. Where's Robin?
Soup's on.
Soup's
Robert Hirschbeck, who haunted the mansion as Henry Staff in The Seventh Guest, returns to lead the cast of The 11th Hour.
Chopstick.
In the kitchen scene, you get a culmination. It's the payoff to the Faustian bargain. Your Chuck, who becomes Chuck Roast, has made a deal with the devil. He's got what he wanted. He got everything he was booked for. He signed on the dotted line, and now we're going to have Chuck. And it's a delightful celebration. You know, get out the wine and the silver, and oh boy, dinner.
This was a situation where we were doing something that we'd never done before. It was an interactive piece, and kind of the fact that nobody actually knew what we were doing was kind of exciting too.
All of this was going into a game technology. So we were putting these real live actors into a virtual reality setting. And that in itself meant we had to take these people and make them a little bit different than reality.
Hirschbeck clearly relishes the continuing role, and in explaining the character seems unwilling to entirely shed Staff's image.
Well, Henry Staff is deliciously evil. He's your worst and he's your best nightmare. He'll give you anything you want. And he knows what's in your soul. And he'll get you every time.
I want my mummy. And what do you want? Not your mummy.
The actors did things that they probably would question otherwise, but since it's so mysterious what this interactive stuff is, what happens with this computer, so they kind of just did it.
Beyond the challenge of portraying Staff, Hirschbeck employs his considerable acting talents to overcome the difficulties of working on a blue screen set. Here, imagination is a prime ingredient.
You have to continually find a balance between something that's real and then something that is abstracted.
The summer of 1993 arrives as Trilobyte moves into bigger quarters. All of the individual elements of this immense project are complete, but now the full-length movie, the 3D effects, and the intricate puzzles somehow have to be brought to life by the programming team.
By hiding the technology, by hiding the video technology, not making that part of the, the game playing experience, by hiding how the sound works, by hiding how, the player is actually interacting, and simplifying it all, she becomes more immersed within the environment and starts to believe more of what's going on.
We're a company of technicians and artists, and whatever artists want to bring to the party, that's and we find good story and a good way to tell it, that's what we're going to do. We don't put any limitations on ourselves.
Over the next year, many technical hurdles will be overcome.
There are other programmers who just hit the wall and can't go on. Graham's been able to go beyond that. There are other designers who design something that's good enough, and stop there. And I think Rob went quite a bit beyond that. And so I think it's just that willingness, that extra human effort.
It's a big thing at Trilobyte is that we aren't a no company. If an artist or a film director comes up and says, I want to have this special effect, I want a skull coming out of a pot of soup, and it has to be synced audio and the music has to be going fine, and then the pot of soup goes and kills someone, we have to say, we can do that.
And it is Graham himself who finally solves the biggest problem, placing all of the 11th Hour movie onto the game CD. He does it by inventing a new way to compress full-screen video without losing quality.
Compression basically takes one single image in the 11th hour, which is a very large image, and squashes it down into a couple of hundred bytes instead of it being a couple of hundred megabytes. And it takes this and makes it much, much smaller. And that's the key to the technical success of the 11th hour.
So far, 4 women and 3 men have been victims, fitting a pattern of homicide, and several others are missing. Robin Morales has been missing for more than 3 weeks and seems to have vanished without a trace.
Hello, Dr. Thornton. Robin Morales. I'm a producer with Case Unsolved.
What could I do for you, Robin?
I'm researching a story on the staff match.
She's the producer for the very popular and flamboyant Case Unsolved reporter, Carl Denning.
You're the only person who survived an encounter with the mansion.
Who told you that?
Everyone else has either disappeared or died.
Soup's on!
The newspaper said a guard dog tore your hand off. What really happened?
Ouch! Jeez, Marie! What are you doing?
I want to know what really happened the night you and Eileen Wiley went to the Stoff Mansion.
Eileen got her hand bitten off by a guard dog.
I don't believe you. So what? What really happened to your hand?
Got bitten off by a dog.
It's probably one of those damn Rottweilers.
It was a dog, a vicious dog.
But really, Doctor, what did it look like to you?
Robin, it was a mess. A bloody mess.
She's always been evil. She's behind the violent happenings in this valley.
Just take this knife and get that TV producer.
Do you think the current rash of murders and disappearances are connected to the house?
Oh, God!
Chuck him into the soup!
That house is not what it appears to be.
No!
Don't do it.